because I'm really exhausted by those blaming the loss on Democrats not addressing the needs of the working class. Your Hartmann report yesterday kind of addressed what I'm going to get to in a minute, but there are a couple of things I'd like to say prior to that, because I feel like we live in a very racist, very sexist, very misogynistic and xenophobic society. And unless we can change that, nothing will happen. We'll never see a woman president. And we're not even beginning to address the issues around the difference in classes. But if you'll remember, 8 years ago, we all agreed that the Orange Turd won because the wonderful Fourth Estate free media gave him $2 billion worth of additional
free publicity,
viewership, et cetera, right, free publicity. And that was unheard of at the time. And of course, I won't even bring up James Comey.
Yeah. Or the Russians interfering by buying, by sending over 100 million Facebook messages to targeted people, and who Russian intelligence had gotten their names from Paul Manafort, who was running Trump's campaign. Yes. Keep going.
Very, very true. Yeah. But as you say, the number of right-wing radio stations across the nation, Fox so-called news, the other right-wing news stations, Twitter, Facebook, in 2023 and 2024 put him in front and center of all working class people at absolutely no cost to him. And we'll also talk about, you can also add the Russian interference.
And they did that with this election cycle too, by the way, Dawn.
Well, that's what I'm referring this to. This election cycle, they probably gave him $6 billion worth of free advertising and publicity. And here's the problem. The amount of disinformation that was spread and crammed down the throats of the average American is so great that you actually have to know that it's disinformation in order to combat it. If you
Otherwise, you
don't
start
know
to believe
that
it.
it's disinformation,
and once
you believe it.
Yeah,
exactly.
and once you believe it, it's damn hard to convince somebody of something that they believe, that what they believe is untrue. It's real hard.
That is so true. But I have one last thing I'd like to say, and I think there is so much truth to this. Isabel Wilkerson, I'm sure you know who she is. She's the author of The Cast, The American Cast.
Oh, the book.
Said on Lawrence O'Donnell's show last week, she said, when you look at this election as an election, it doesn't make sense. But if you look at it as an existential crisis for what the country will be, it makes total sense.
Right.
People were not voting against their own interest. People voted for the interest that matters most to them. And this is where you hit it on the nail yesterday. And for many Americans, it means maintaining their position at the very top of American hierarchy, at the very top of the American caste system.
The social
with
hierarchy.
All the rights and, pardon me?
The social hierarchy.
Right.
Yeah.
But
we're talking
just
basically
in general,
about white man
our caste
privilege.
system, with all the rights and privileges that accrues with it. It may not be in the best interest of our country or the planet, but it is in the best interest as the people ascertained it for themselves.
Yeah, principally white people. The vast majority of white people voted for Donald Trump.
That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
I think she's right.
White people. But for those few people who are up, the average person, I don't want that black person or that colored person or a person of color, pardon me, to, take over my job. Well, here you go.
That's their shtick. No, and they've been pushing this since the 80s. We thought they were crazy at the beginning. Rush Limbaugh was a weird, eccentric clown, and now they run the media, they run the government. And, we are living in Ronald Reagan's world. Dawn, thank you. Well said. Thank you very much. Tara in New York City.
Let's just be honest about America. Let's be honest. America has never held true to the promises. And the problem with the Democrats isn't that they don't talk to people, it's that they believe in the system. They believe in a system that was initially rigged to exclude thousands of people. And I get why they believe in the system, because it is a good system, but they are fighting for a system that isn't going to protect us now.
So what's your alternative, Michelle?
So the alternative is to say, hey, at some point, first we got to be honest, like the lady said about race, class, misogyny, all of that.
Sure.
We got to start telling the truth.
Democrats are saying that too.
Gaslighting half the public, and we have to do.
But what's the gaslighting you're objecting to?
The gaslighting is saying that slavery didn't exist, that it worked for, it did.
I don't know of any Democrats who are saying that.
No, Democrats are not saying that, but we have to stop allowing the media to gaslight us, because the media, to me, is the biggest problem.
So how is the media gaslighting us?
It's owned by right-wing billionaires. It's owned by right-wing billionaires who propaganda false disinformation on a regular. This country is more concerned about power and money than it is about helping the American people.
I can't dispute that. It's like
we gotta have a way to fight against it.
I agree. This is the legacy of Reaganism, of the greed is good ethos that seized the Republican Party in the 1980s. Michelle, thank you for the call. It's 45 minutes past the hour. We'll be back with more of your calls in just a moment. Taking back the mainstream media, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, right here. Thom Hartmann Radio.